All right, so this is a suggestion via a channel member. Let's go and jump to the video immediately. This one looks absolutely intriguing, guys. I've been to India. I don't have much good things to say, but let's do it.
This place is just absolutely everything bad word-wise, man.
So this African guy just landed in India. And man,
Okay.
he's about to get a real wake-up call. The locals start throwing shade at him from minute one.
Daddy, I know what you're saying. I say you're small
When they find out
What?
this blogger's from Somalia in Africa, these people just go off on him about pirates. Yeah, you heard that right.
Oh, my
They're going
God.
on and on about Somali pirates like it's still
Jeez.
2009 or something. The guy keeps trying to explain that, hey,
That's
the
crazy.
government shut all that pirate stuff down ages ago.
No, they didn't. I mean, the big ones, like the big organizations, let's say, that were doing it have absolutely been shut down. Let's just say that there. But the smaller, like lesser ones are definitely still kind of functioning.
But
anyway.
these folks just won't quit with their sarcastic little jabs. Finally, the bloggers had enough.
If you ever say Negro
Whoa.
to an African person, they will punch you in the face. So far.
Okay.
He basically
I mean, bro, listen, you need to be able to control yourself just a little bit more. We're gonna go ahead and stop stopping, but let's just
tells
continue.
these Indian guys to back off. But here's the thing. They couldn't care less about his warning. I mean, they're on their home turf, surrounded by their own people. So they figure, what's this one guy gonna do, right? The blogger realizes he's completely outnumbered here. So he just swallows his anger and tries to keep it together. But honestly, his appetite's completely shot at this point.
Bro, you ate
He ends up
something?
bailing from the restaurant as fast as he can. Later posts a video with the title straight up saying, "I'm sick of India. Can't say I blame the guy." Now here's where it gets interesting. The Indian people themselves don't really give a damn about what some random travel blogger thinks. Their news media is busy painting this picture of India being the world's hottest tourist destination, claiming everyone's dying to visit, and the place
Nah,
is
bro.
just bursting with potential. Pretty
Pass.
convenient narrative, if you ask me. Sure, they
Bro,
can
look
spin
at
India
that.
into some kind of paradise in their media.
Bro, there are cows in the street. Bro, do you see the structural integrity, let's say, of these electrical lines here? What is this? Oh, go here, bro.
You ask me. Sure, they can spin India into some kind of paradise in their media.
For a long time, India's tourism story was all about potential. It was either too big or too chaotic or too undermarketed, but now the story has flipped, it seems.
Oh, yeah?
India is not just a place that tourists dream about. India is a place where they land and explore. The tourism numbers are soaring, the airports are packed, the heritage sites are swamped, from domestic platforms making millions to global hotel chains fighting for a foothold. Everyone wants a piece of India's travel boom.
But some Indian commenters
Bro, look
actually
at that.
spill the reality about what's going on in their country. One Indian guy comments that the racial discrimination isn't just aimed at this black African blogger.
Right,
Even
no.
local Indians get treated like crap.
Yeah, bro, listen, I went to India. I'm telling you this right now. It's not for me. Never again. We can have a conversation about how, listen, maybe you're going into the country and you have a lot of money and all this other stuff, but no. Because your skin is dark, they think you're garbage. They think you're, one of the people who, clean the sewer, right? Or mess with rats and things like that. That's basically what they perceive of you immediately when you walk, when they see you, all right? And then they will act on it because they, in their heads, think that they are absolutely above you by all means. That's my experience in India, guys. India is not it, bro. It's not it, specifically if you have dark skin, at least. Now, when it comes down to the tourism, I don't know who's going, but I'm guessing it's most likely European specifically. Because we already saw the video of a woman from South Korea going there and absolutely having a terrible time here, bro. Like, do not go there as a woman, okay, by yourself. And do not go there as a dark-skinned woman. I bet that's probably wild for you, bro. That's probably crazy.
Other Indian users immediately jump in agreeing with him. Some African commenters are scratching their heads, asking why Indians would act this way when India's got plenty of dark-skinned people
Right,
itself.
bro, darker than me.
Well, one helpful Indian person drops some truth bombs and explains the whole mess. Turns out Gandhi himself once asked the British in South Africa to
Gandhi was garbage, bro. I'm not even gonna sit here and entertain a single individual that wants to have a positive conversation about Mahatma Gandhi, bro. I can't. It's illegal in my household.
treat Indians better than they treated black South Africans. Because Indians weren't as black. They were more brown, So in his mind, white was best. And darker skin was basically the worst thing ever. Yeah, that's a pretty messed up way of thinking. But wait, it gets worse. When this blogger gets to Delhi, he books a hotel room online through his phone. Seems simple enough, right? Wrong.
I was in
He
Mumbai.
shows up at the front desk to check in, and the staff basically tells him he's gotta pay extra cash if he wants to stay there. The blogger keeps explaining he already booked and paid for the room online, but these people just keep demanding more money. They're claiming the online price was too low and they're not making enough profit. During this whole back and forth, they even tell him to turn off his camera. When they can't reach a deal, the blogger just gives up and leaves. Guy's sitting there thinking, I just spent half an hour in traffic to get to this hotel, and now they're pulling this ridiculous stunt on me. It's absolutely nuts. So he's gotta go hunt for another hotel. But this is just the beginning of his discrimination adventure in India. He's walking down the street and spots this roadside stand selling fresh sugarcane juice. Perfect. He's thirsty and could use a drink. Asks for the price.
Bro, look at that dirty ass bucket, bro. Look at that bucket. Bro, was that black mold? Jesus Christ.
They tell him 20 rupees. That's about 25 cents. Not too expensive, so he orders one without thinking twice about it. Just as he's finishing his drink, this local lady comes over and orders the exact same thing. Now the blogger's curious. So instead of walking away, he sticks around to see what the local person's gonna pay for the identical drink. And when you know it, she only pays 10 rupees. Around 12 cents. Half the price he just paid. All he can do is give the vendor this bitter smile.
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna be honest here. That's not that big of a deal, bro. I have been to over 140 countries, guys. Okay, and I want to point out this specific thing here. I do not mind paying more, okay, because I know that they know that I'm coming from a rich country. Let's just be honest here. The locals, if you want to be like a local, live like a local. Don't come with American money or outside of the country type of money, and then expect to get the same exact treatment. Yeah, it would be great if that was a thing, but this is not the United States of America, bro. You can't fight for that. Okay, you can't do that. Just understand you're going to a place, and specifically hanging around with some of the poorest people of said place. Bro, let them make some money. At 10 rupees is nothing, bro.
Thinking to himself that even buying a cheap drink gets you the discrimination treatment.
10 rupees, eh? I knew it. I honestly, I just knew it, man.
Turns out lots of Indians will size you up and adjust their prices accordingly. Local person, normal price. Outsider,
yeah, I'm
higher
fine
price.
with that, bro.
Black outsider, get ready to pay double or triple. Some travelers who've been to India before aren't even surprised by this stuff. One person comments that they actually argued with a juice seller over about 10 cents. At the Taj Mahal, tourists have to pay 10 times more than locals just to get in. Yep, there are completely separate pricing systems for tourists and locals. Following
That's
his phone's
normal,
GPS,
guys.
the blogger heads to another hotel he's planning to stay at. This time the staff doesn't flat out reject him, but they say it's cleaning time and he can't check in until afternoon. The blogger figures he just needs to wait for housekeeping to finish up. Boy, was he wrong. Here comes another price hike attempt. When the blogger points out that their price is double what's listed online, the staff tries to justify the 2,500 rupee rate. That's about $30, by saying he didn't book online in advance. But then the blogger whips out his phone and books the same room online right there on the spot for less than half their quoted price. The staff doesn't immediately turn him away though. Instead, they huddle up and start having this conversation in Hindi with their colleagues. The blogger can sense something sketchy is going down.
Oh yeah, bro, don't sleep
They're
here.
probably figuring out how to jack up the price even more or find another reason to reject him. Sure enough, they end up refusing to honor his online booking. Their excuse? He doesn't have an Indian local ID card. When the blogger mentioned
Bro, stop coming to this country, bro. Stop it. All right, just stop it. All right, don't do this. I would say India and Egypt specifically. Egypt for a completely different reason, but if you listen, if you have a darker skin tone, don't go to this country, bro. Like, don't do this. They hate you here, bro. Like by default. Right? It's in their caste system. Oh, we don't live by the caste system anymore, bro. What are you talking about? But all right, listen.
he's got a passport, they immediately switch gears and say nope. He's not a local Indian, so no deal. At this point, it's pretty obvious what's happening here. They tried to overcharge him. That didn't work. So now they're just not gonna let him stay.
Okay, so long story short, I can't stay because I'm not from
There
India.
is no ID.
There's no ID?
Indian ID.
I have passports. So.
A passport is
But-
Period. The blogger's got no choice but to leave and keep looking for other places. After walking around some more, he runs into another foreigner on the street and asks where he might find a place to stay. This person hears about everything the blogger's been through and kindly points him toward a small guest house nearby. The blogger walks in and politely asks if they have any available rooms. The staff takes one look at this black guy and doesn't even bother checking their system. Just straight up says they're completely booked. This is before noon, so there's no way they filled up that fast. Obviously, they just don't want him staying there. That's the third rejection for this blogger, and he's pretty much at his breaking point emotionally.
His face is just absolutely everything bad word-wise, man.
Just when he's venting to his camera about the whole situation, he spots another little hotel across the street. Figuring he's got nothing left to lose, he walks in and gives it a shot. This time the owner doesn't reject him.
Okay.
And here's the kicker. No surprise price increases either.
Okay.
After walking around all morning and getting turned away from 4 different hotels, he finally finds one that won't rip him off and actually lets him check in. The room's nothing fancy, but at this point he just needs somewhere to crash. Some local Indians who saw the blogger's experience left comments saying stuff like, "I'm ashamed of how my people acted. I'm really sorry you had to go through such a hard time." These are hotels and places that even well-educated Indians would avoid. People in Delhi are rude, just like people in New York.
Not the same thing, bro. I hear you. I would definitely say Delhi is a lot ruder than New York, and I'm from New York. I just want you to know this here.
Hope you can accept this apology. But other Indians think the whole thing's fake and straight up bash the blogger for hurting India's reputation.
Of course.
This blogger is just showing negative things about India, clearly traveling just to defame India. Some comments point out the huge differences between South and North India.
Oh, there's a gigantic difference between South and North, guys.
Saying even locals can't completely avoid getting scammed. I'm South Indian, and even we get scammed in Delhi and North in general. One has to be very confident in India to survive these scams and troubles in general.
Yeah, the South is better,
the most wretched place on earth.
but it's still not
here's
good.
What's really interesting. We're seeing more and more travel bloggers doing these China versus India comparisons lately, right? And honestly, the pattern is pretty clear if you just look at the comment sections. When bloggers visit India, you get stories like this one. And it's not just 1 or 2 isolated incidents. It's becoming a trend.
Yeah, it
What's
is.
even more telling? A lot of the Indian commenters themselves are saying stuff like, "I'm ashamed of my country," or "Even we locals get scammed." That's pretty telling, you know? Compare that to travel vlogs from China, and the comment sections are completely different. You got people sharing positive experiences, locals being proud of showing off their country, visitors actually wanting to come back. The contrast is just, wow. Now look, I get it. Every country...
Oh, the comment at the top here is absolutely amazing here. China may be undeveloped in parts of China, definitely mainland. Now I've had some intriguing scenarios that happened in mainland China during a project that I was working on a couple of years ago, where there was like a little kid and he came up to me asking me, I'm getting the translation, right? And where's my tail is the translation. Where is my tail? All right, I've had people on the subway just rubbing my skin thinking I was dirty, bro. Like that was an intriguing thing, but it's not the same as India, if that makes any sense. There's a difference when people are not specifically used to ever seeing anyone who looks like you. Big difference. Versus India, where again people are darker than me in certain parts of India. You get what I'm saying here? Like, I mean, that's just the reality here. They're darker than me, and they are treating me terribly because of my skin color. And it's just like, bro, what are you talking about? What is this?
Country has its problems. But when you're consistently seeing the same patterns over
It's
and over
India,
again,
bro. It's India and
at some
Egypt.
point you gotta ask yourself, what's real and what's just media spin? India keeps talking about this big tourism boom and how they're gonna be the next big thing. And
No.
hey, maybe they will be.
Gotta
But if
fix
we're
the
being
people.
honest here, they've got a pretty long road ahead of them. You can't just market your way out of systemic issues, you know? The thing is, travelers today aren't stupid. We can read between the lines. We see the comment sections, we watch multiple vlogs, we talk to people who've actually been there. The internet makes it pretty hard to hide the real experience. So what do you think?
Okay, guys. Okay. I personally think that, I mean, listen, if you want to go to India and experience it yourself and not listen to any of the other people that are basically telling you to not go to this place, live your best life, bro. I mean, sometimes, people have to learn the hard way. I'm legitimately telling you this right now. India is a place where I would never go back to. I'd never want to experience again, ever under any circumstance here, guys. Also, when I went to India, I went again for a project. Most of my travels have all been work related. I would say 95% of them have just exclusively been because of the company that I was working for, taking photos around the world and video around the world, right, specifically. And so it's always good. Like, I didn't have that issue with like finding hotels or anything like that. Why, you may ask? Because my assistant, okay, was from Europe. All right. And so the easiest thing to do sometimes in some places around the world that is completely troublesome is make sure you have an assistant that looks very different from you. Okay. And so we were able to get in everywhere. We had no problems with nothing, not a single thing at all, in terms of getting in places. But the looks and the stares and the comments were absolutely every single day, bro. It was an everyday thing. I left early, very early. Okay, on my trip, I think it was 7 days. I stayed for 4, just so you understand how much I needed to get out of there, bro. Right, and that's India. That's my story specifically about India. Egypt is not the same at all. Okay, just understand this here. But as a photographer, someone who kind of moves around the world taking photos of things, let's say they had just gotten out of like the Arab Spring. What's that thing called, guys? I forgot. They had just gotten out of this thing, and we went to Egypt as a gigantic production, and they confiscated all cameras, drones. They confiscated walkie-talkies. They confiscated every single thing that we needed for the project that we had authority to do by the government. It was wild. Obviously, we got everything back when we left, but it was just like, dude, what's the point of this? Oh, and the scamming camel guys at the pyramids, guys. This is ridiculous. All right. There are 2 places on earth that I would just tell you this right now, stay away from completely. It seems to be completely honorless, let's say, and that is, in fact, the north of India and Egypt. Egypt, the north of India. Eritrea. I can keep going, actually. But there are a couple of places where I just would say, you know what, bro, listen, don't even bother. All right. I'm not surprised with his response, though, how he experienced India, because if you actually look online to see how common typical, Black Americans at least experience India, you'll see it's the same. But all right, listen, guys, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe.